Hi, our friends. Let's move towards somewhere so attractive. Tehran was still asleep, its street quieter than ever. It was weekend time. We escaped into nature. On the highway, motorcyclists danced with danger, their stun catching every wandering eye. But what truly drew my attention was the green. The trees still clinging to summer, unwilling to surrender to autumn's call. The road twisted and turned, and with every curve, I felt the city fading, as if we were crossing into another world. Closer to the village, rows of new luxurious villas began to rise. Homes that whispered of city dwellers who trade the noise for silence every weekend, seeking peace beneath the whispers of lips. And then, at the edge of the village, an old wooden door, weathered and alone, caught my eye. It belonged to what seemed like an abandoned house. I don't know why, but doors like that always feel full of secrets. I found myself wondering who had lived behind those doors, what words, what laughter, and perhaps what silences still lingered within those walls. As we entered the village, the air changed. The cool morning breeze mingled with birdsong. The village was calm, almost too calm, as if everyone was still asleep. Only one woman walked slowly through the narrow alleys. A little further down, I saw a few simple pieces of exercise equipment. Their presence made me smile, a quiet reminder that people here still cared about health and joy, even when resources were few. Someone said there was a small waterfall at the edge of the village, but the stillness, the strange silence in the air, it held us back. We didn't dare to go further. As we descended from the upper part of the village, we passed a single open mechanics shop. The owner nodded, but his eyes lacked the warmth I'd expected from old village souls. Maybe he had his reasons. Maybe the fast war in June this year had left a trace of mistrust in people's hearts. In the village square, few elderly men sat together, their faces calm, their eyes filled with years of unspoken stories. In their silence, there was still a faint echo of the old fellowship, the kind that shared not just news, but tales, memories, even rumors. The gas cylinders for sale reminded me that houses still weren't connected to a gas line. It seemed construction was slowly reshaping the village. And then, when we reached the small village cemetery, time seemed to stop. Short, simple tombstone rested quietly side by side, no luxury, no decoration, just earth and memory. I thought to myself, maybe people here wish to keep their loved ones close. In the same land, the same home, built with their own hands. But the strangest part of the journey was still ahead. On our way back, we stumbled upon a narrow pathway. And even from afar, it felt uncanny. On both sides stood wooden statues with distorted faces. Some had handwritten prayers pinned beside them. At the entrance, a fragment of an old wooden bed hung like a totem, a symbol of power and presence among what looked like old sorcerers. A mix of fear and curiosity twisted inside me. The path ended at an old house with a small figure standing before it. We asked the passery, "What is this place?" He gave a mysterious smile and said, "That's the religious scholar's house, the one with the crooked hat and hair, stranger than his manner." On the way back, we passed the village's small supermarket.
شما حتی پاستیلای متفاوت هم دارین.
Its shelves were full, but the prices seemed too high for the locals, as if the shop was built more for tourists than for the villagers themselves.
اینکه خب اینجا روستای ساده‌ایه ولی سوپرمارکت شما سوپرمارکت ساده‌ای نیست. خیلی دوربین میفته. جالب انگیز بود. چیزی نمیخوای بخری؟
A few dairy shops dotted the lanes, probably supplied by the villagers' own hands.
خوبه. وایسا
There was also a Hosseiniya, a humble place of worship. Everything inside was simple, yet within that simplicity there was something sacred, something unseen. I felt as though this village was a book, one that only reveals itself if you walk slowly enough, turning each page with patience. When I finally left Kond-e Olyā, I looked back at the houses, the mountains, the silence, and that strange hunting path. Something inside me had changed. I felt as though this trip wasn't just from Tehran to Labasan, but from the noise of mind to a deep inner stillness. we had discovered only a tiny fragment of a vast hidden world. Glad to have your companionship and thank you for watching.